So let us start. So since this week you all are busy with our lesson planning stage. So at this stage, we all know there are different stages of lesson planning. So let us just revise quickly all those stages and then we will start our today's session. That is our next and the final stage of lesson planning. So stage number one, when ma'am had started, that stage was planning stage. And under planning stage, what we all have studied. Notion is there.
Ma'am, objectives.
We all know this thing. Whenever we want to start something, planning is very, very essential. And so is with the lesson planning also. So in the planning stage, the very first important topic is, yes, one of you was saying something.
Ma'am, I said we started with the objectives, general and specific, as principal ma'am explained that.
Yes. So in under the heading planning stage, the first point is our content analysis. You need to think about the content. You need to select the appropriate content. Sometimes you need to organize the content also. This you all will be learning in your different methods, how we can arrange also in our next semester paper assessment for learning. There we will be doing content analysis in detail. But uh, briefly, I can just tell you all. In content analysis, we are going to select appropriate content. We are making, you are jotting down all the important points. What are the facts? What are the definitions to be covered? What are the terms to be covered? What are the theories in your lesson? What are the formula? If it is a math lesson, so all those essential points you need to jot it down and then organize it in a proper manner. Sometimes in our textbook, what we have found that the content is not in an organized manner. So it is the responsibility of the teacher to organize the content properly. After this, then as you all said, you have to think about, you have to plan about the objectives. What will be your objectives? So quickly, can you just write on a piece of paper three objectives? Because I'll be taking these three objectives later on at the end of the session. Just write three objectives with respect to your method and belonging to remembering, understanding, and applying. One objective for each. I'll be giving you just 1 minute. I hope you are remembering the action verbs, few of the action verbs, not all. So one example we will be taking from Smita. Smita, please give us one example based on remembering objectives, specific objectives. No need to write general right now, only specific one. Smita, are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Please give us one example, one objective.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
One object. I want one objective from you belonging to remembering objective. Any topic of your choice and then make one objective for me. I hope everyone is writing. Is there anyone who has finished?
Ma'am, the student recognize the different parts of flowers.
Recognizes the different parts of flower. Another one from understanding. One we have taken remembering, that is just a recap. Keep on writing. And one we will take from INSEA. INSEA, please unmute yourself.
Ma'am, may I? For understanding,
Sure, Maria.
the students develop an understanding of
Student.
molecular formula. Yes, ma'am. Students develop an understanding of molecular
Student.
formula.
I'm taking specific objectives right now.
Specific, not general.
Specific. See, if we will repeat everything, this will consume lot of time. That's why I'm
Okay, ma'am,
skipping
no
the
issue.
general objective. I'm
So,
just
ma'am,
focusing
it
on.
would be the student identifies the constituent elements of a compound.
Okay. One from application or skill. Anyone from commerce or eco or maths?
Ma'am,
Yes,
the
Jasmine.
student is able to cite out the example.
The action verb is correct. But right now, the way how we are writing, we are not using is able to, although it is also correct. There are different ways of writing the objectives. But the way that we are following is the student cites examples or illustrate. Okay. Any word you can pick up. Action verb, you are having the list with you all. So I hope you all are done with your objectives. 3 objectives.
Yes.
Say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we will
Yes,
come back
yes,
to these
ma'am.
objectives later on at the later stage of this session. So that was the planning stage. Also in the planning stage, you must have thought about the core elements, the topic that has been covered by Mandrita ma'am few days back. So we can think about all those points. That was the first stage. Then comes the second stage, that is our introductory stage. And as the name itself suggests, in the introductory stage, what is going to be happening? Veena?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in the introduction stage, the teacher will not name the topic, but she will try to introduce the topic by set induction method.
It's just in simple words, it's just inducing the topic, right? So introducing the topic, that is the second stage. Then comes the third stage, that is our presentation stage, and that is being covered yesterday also and today also. So what is that presentation stage? Situ will let us know what all points will be there in presentation stage. Situ, are you there? Are you listening? Even you all are not showing your faces to me. I'm speaking to myself. It's looking like. When you have introduced the topic, what should be the next step? What are you going to start with? Situ, are you there? I'm not
Yes, ma'am.
able to see.
Asking questions to student.
Why will you ask the questions to students? Why? Yes, Shimol. Please throw some light on this.
Ma'am, after set induction, we will state this statement that today we will be learning so and so topic.
Fine, you have introduced the lesson, correct. Then
after that, we will start with the content and the methodology. What we will be taking to teach the content.
We can start from the previous knowledge. Like we can start asking questions about their previous knowledge, what they have learned about that topic, what they know about that topic.
okay. Basically, when we are in third stage, presentation stage, it means this is the actual stage where you are explaining everything. Yesterday Sonia ma'am has taken this entire session with you all. There are different ways how you can explain your content. So explanation is very, very important. During the explanation, you are going to take the help of different questions that has been covered today. Along with that, during the explanation stage, what else will be there? Questions and explanation. और क्या होना चाहिए?
Correlation
Correlation, yes.
and that core element also.
Ma'am,
Your
core element.
core element, correlation, your teaching aid, use of teaching aids, different kind of questions you are going to ask. So everything, that is the mixture of everything, and that's how you will try to explain each and everything with the help of suitable examples to your students. So at the end, your intention is to succeed in the achieving of those objectives, where you want to know whether your students are able to achieve your the objective set for them or not. So that is what we have studied till here. And in the morning session, as Pratna ma'am said, the importance of questioning. So why questioning is so important? Why do teachers ask questions regularly, whether it is the set induction, or it is the explanation stage, or at different stages? The teachers, they will keep on asking questions, just the way how we all are using the questioning things, right? At the end, we all will be asking the question, whether we are narrating the story, as she said, as she has explained. She has given you so many examples how we will, at the end, we will reach to the questioning part. So uh, so again, just for a revision, why do teachers ask the questions? Just quickly let me know the different points that you have understood from her session.
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, yes, Shantanu.
Ma'am, in order to check the previous knowledge, in order to keep the students engaged in the class, to make it
No,
interactive.
do not tell everything, all the points. It's not the revision for you all, it's the revision for everyone. Yes, Shantini, very good. So as she said that in order to engage the students with their respective methods, so in different stages, see, we can say that the questions are there, whether you are using the introductory questions, whether while explanation you want to develop the lessons, while explanation you are asking the questions. Sometimes you are revising many things during the explanation part, those are the recapitulatory questions. And another one, once you are done with your instructions, you want to see whether the students, they have understood the entire subject in a right manner or not, right? So these are the different stages of asking the question. So as Shantini was saying, that the importance of asking questions, so why the teachers, they are asking different questions to the students, and one of the major point is to engage the students with their subject. So how teachers, they can engage the students? What is the role of teacher? Vandana?
Yes, ma'am.
Just let us know.
Ma'am, the role of a teacher is to know, make the concept understand. Like if there is one question, there can be many viewpoints of the student. So if I am popping a question, I should, like make sure that all the points are seen and then I take into consideration and come to a conclusion.
What else we can do? We can go ahead with, we can plan for learn. We will try to provide learning experiences, different learning experiences to our learners, right? So if you are providing different kind of learning experiences, depending upon the topic that you are teaching, depending upon the subject that you are teaching, so what will be the effect of this learning experiences? As a teacher, you are providing different learning experiences to your students so that they can get engaged with the subject throughout the period. And with the help of this will lead to the development of what you can see this slide. Do you have any idea what we can what we can achieve if you are providing sufficient and appropriate learning experiences to your students through this?
Holistic development of the child.
Okay, holistic development through this slide. It's one kind of hint. See, there are two images. Students are sitting, or a student is sitting, and the teacher is there. In both the cases, teachers are one teacher is here and one teacher is there. So if you are getting in touch with your students, what will be the benefit for both of them?
Ma'am, good relation will be built.
Very
And
good.
if
You will try to make a very good rapport with your students as a teacher. So there will be a strong relationship between teacher and student. The students will feel much more comfortable. The teacher is much more accessible, approachable, and the students, they will start asking their queries and all. So when this will,
Ma'am,
yes.
Ma'am, can we also say it will widen the horizon of knowledge? Like if I'm saying
Correct.
something and the students add something, there will be something I do not know and the child knows. So in that way, we both are,
Yes, the
enhancing each other's
communication lines. Yes,
Yes.
communications, clear communications lines will be there. And at the same time, if you are having very good rapport with your students, this will lead to this will you can say stimulate the condition of critical thinking. These teachers, they will try to build up different abilities among the students in much more easier manner. The cognitive effect will be there, the affective domain will play the role. These students, they will start thinking out of their box, because these teachers, they are providing them the opportunities to think in that manner. Not only the bookish thing is there, because now everything is there, the students will asking extra questions. How this particular topic is very important, how can I use the topic of area in my day to day life? So these kind of questions will arise. So how these kind of question is arising? Because teachers, they are providing the learning opportunities, the learning experiences to their students. So one kind of critical thinking, it is being stimulated with the help of asking questions. Now the question arises, how will students, they will know whether they are understanding the concept in the right manner or not, right? Whether they have learned what they have intended to learn or not. So for that, what will the teacher is going to do? अपने आप से तो समझ में आता नहीं है सबको, सब अपने आप को सेल्फ असेस नहीं करती हैं. So now it is the responsibility of the teacher to assess to evaluate the child's performance, so that he or she can improve their performance. Even with the help of this evaluation, the teacher, they will be able to know whether the objectives set by him or her at the initial stage of the lesson, whether they have been achieved or not, right? Do you agree with this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. How?
If they answer the question, then only will understand whether they have understood the concept or not.
Yes.
By the way they will respond.
Suppose my objective is, at the end of this session, you should be able to know the difference between the two different types of questions, the two order of questions. So at the end also, if I'll be asking though that same question to you all should be able to give me the right answer, differentiation between the two types of questions that we will be dealing in the next part of this session, right? So this is how the teachers, they will also get to know whether the objectives, they have been achieved by they have been achieved or not, whether the taught content was appropriate to the objectives of the lessons or not, right? So everything, we will get the answers of all these questions. How can the pupils, the students, they can fuse their new learning with the previous knowledge? right? For that also, again, questions are very, very important. So if when these kind of questions they are coming in our mind, so answer to all these questions is our stage number 4. So that stage number 4 is our closure stage. Once you have explained everything to your students, now it is the time to get the answers back. So that is our stage number 4. You need to end the lesson. Ending of lesson is very, very important, so that you can get the answers of the जो भी मैंने questions तुम्हें सारे बोले थे, you will get the answers of each and everything, whether the objectives have been fulfilled or not, whether the students they are understanding in the similar manner the way how I want them to understand, whether they are on the right path or not, what all uh, important points are there, how they can utilize their present knowledge and understanding of a concept of a subject matter in their future also. So not only it is restricted to the classroom, when they will be outside the classroom in their day-to-day routine life, how they are going to use their this knowledge and understanding and the skills they have learned in a particular session. So the answers of everything there you will get in stage number 4, that is the closure. So once you have closed everything, so you have consolidated all the points, you have recapitulated all the points, you will reach to the next stage, that is your evaluation. So it's time to evaluate the students. It's time to check whether they have understood each and everything or not. So teacher will start providing opportunity to the pupils uh, so that they can check what is their degree of knowledge or understanding or their skill, whether they have mastered over the subject matter or not, what all points are not understood by them. So this thing is there. Another thing is that they will be able to provide opportunities to the students so that they can solve the future problems in their day-to-day life. When they will be in the new situation, they will be able to solve the problems. So that is what kind of behavioral changes we have found in the students that can be find out with the help of evaluation stage, right? So when we are evaluating, there are different ways of evaluation. So asking question is one thing, how you can ask those questions, right? So simple thing is we can ask verbally all the questions. How? Do you have any example for that? Say for example, if I'm asking you all, just now suppose I have completed the topic uh, good conductor and bad conductor of heat and electricity. So at the end I am asking the question, give me some examples of good conductor of heat and electricity. So what will be your answer? Yes, science students, you can respond.
Ma'am, iron, like the metals.
Metals, yes, give some examples of metals.
Ma'am,
Iron, silver,
aluminium.
or copper, everything, right? Then give some examples of bad conductor of heat and electricity.
Wood, ma'am. Wood.
Wood. What else? Insulators are different. It's the
Rubber.
term.
Plastic,
Plastic,
ma'am.
rubber, leather, yes. Then I can ask my next question. So why we should stand on a wooden plank while working with any electricity related work? So what will be your answer?
Because that is a bad conductor of electricity.
What? Wood is the
The
bad
wooden plank, the stool.
yes. Yes, the electricity will not pass through that. So why during winters when we are touching any kind of iron nails or the iron grills, we always find it cold. Whereas when we are touching wooden panes, they are not so cold. What is the reason behind that? During winters, iron bars in our windows, they are always cold to touch. Whereas wooden panes, they are not. Why is it so? Yes. What kind of temperature is there in winters?
Ma'am, it is cold because I
It's
think
cold.
iron
Outside temperature is
it can conduct heat also and it can conduct electricity also.
outside temperature is less. It's cold. That's why when you are touching, you are feeling it's cold. Whereas, as you all said, that wood is not good conductor of heat and electricity. That's why you are not feeling that much cold. So this is how you can just keep on asking question and question. This is one way of doing the evaluation, by asking the question. Another way can be, I can call one student. Suppose the chapter that I have taken is magnetism. Okay, I can call one or two students. I will provide them magnets. I will provide them iron, and I will ask them to identify the different properties of magnet that we have studied. Right. So this is also one way of evaluating. So they will demonstrate, they will do the experiment, and they will try to give you the three properties that we have studied. Right. So this is another way. Another one can be in the written form. I can just provide one passage. You can say that with proper filling the blanks, and I'm asking my students to to complete the entire passage on the basis of your understanding. So that is how it's the another way. If for geography and all, if we have studied about different locations or the physical features of India, I will ask my students to locate a specific point on the map. So every time we are not asking the questions verbally, we are making use of different techniques. We can go ahead with the writing part, we can go ahead with the demonstration part, we can use the teaching aids. So all these things are equally important. So just like last session, the importance of questioning, even in the evaluation, there are certain points that needs to be remembered while asking the questions to your students. Whenever you are evaluating the students related to the topic, there are certain points that always you have to keep in mind, and a few points Pratna ma'am had already covered. So the basic first point is, once you are done with your explanation, you need to hide everything. Whatever teaching aids you were using in physical mode, you have to just remove everything. If you are showing a chart to your students, if you are using any kind of apparatus, if you are using different flashcards, so whatever teaching aids you were using in order to explain the content to your students at the time of evaluation stage, before the starting of evaluatory questions in any form, you need to remove everything, because it's the time of testing whether they have understood or not. You should not provide any kind of hint to your students. Nothing should be visible to them. Then only you can check whether they have understood correctly or not. Whatever you have done, the chalkboard summary, you will be using the chalkboard for your preparation of summary of the entire topic. Throughout your explanation, you need to rub the entire chalkboard before the evaluatory question, before the start of evaluation stage. Through when you are using the online mode, you will not uh, uh, get this opportunity to hide, or the chalkboard, where by default it will get just erased from your screen, because now your next slide will be there. But when you will be in offline mode, please remember this thing: you have to just clean everything, and then you need to ask the students to just stay calm, so that you can just check, you can test their knowledge and understanding. So when you are asking the questions, always ask one question at a time. No need to ask two or three questions at a time. So one question at a time. If you want to ask what is force, so ask only that question, what is force, and then wait for the answers. Once you will get the answer, then you can start with your next question. What is the unit of force? right? Whether you are not going to ask the question what is force, give the unit of force, give what are the different types of forces. These different kind of questions you are not going to merge together. Just like the objectives, in the objectives also you were focusing the objectives while writing the objectives only one point at a time. Similarly, because this is the evaluatory stage and you are testing, you are checking whether your objectives they are fulfilled or not. So that's why objectives and evaluations they are interrelated to each other. Whatever objectives it has been set, you are going to check your evaluatory questions are going to match with your objectives, right? So then only you will be able to know whether your objectives have been fulfilled or not. So always ask one question at a time. And few points, as Pratna ma'am said in the last session, grammatically correct. It should be grammatically correct. There should be no confusion for the students. The length of the questions, it should be not too big. Bigger the question, it will create more confusion. You will not, the students will not be able to understand the question sometimes. So that's why try to ask the question which is short and concise. Complete questions you are going to ask in a correct manner. For this, you need to prepare the questions in advance. So that doesn't mean that on the spot you are not going to questions, because as per the situation you have to mold. Do not stick to the exact planning. So I have prepared 4 questions, and for my evaluation these questions, 4 questions should be there. Sometimes you may get different answers. So in order to acknowledge the answers of the students, in order to motivate them, you may ask an extra questions other than your planned questions. But always you should prepare your questions in advance, keeping in mind the objectives of your lesson. Okay. Some other points that needs to be remembered for the evaluation stage or asking the evaluations, like when you are asking the questions, there are 2 different types of questions. There are 2 different order of questions: lower order of question and higher order of question. Now focus on these 2 questions. 2 examples I have taken. One is, who discovered the telephone and when was Gandhiji born? What will be your answer? Who discovered the telephone? Is it a one word answer? Say yes or no.
One word.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Only
Yes,
name
ma'am.
is required, right? So this is belonging
Yes,
to
ma'am.
which type?
Alexander Graham Bell.
This is belonging to which type of objective? If you want to get this answer, what kind of objective you must have prepared?
Specific.
Specific में कौन सा? You know, remembering,
Remembering,
understanding,
madam.
applying. Yes, remembering. Why?
Remembering,
Memory.
remembering.
Why? You all are
Because we need to remember the name of the person.
yes, you are remembering the name of the person. Similarly, you are trying to recall when was Gandhiji born. What will be the answer for this question?
Year.
2nd October.
Second. 2nd October 1869. Yes, it's just that we have to recall. There is no need of any understanding. I need to understand what exactly October is or uske andar ka detail. I don't want to go into the deeper stage of that. It's just that you have to recall and then you have to give me the answers. Similarly for the first one, similarly for the second one. So all these kind of questions, they are known as lower order of questions, which are belonging to remembering kind of objective. Give some more examples from your method to me. One example from commerce or eco. What kind of questions will be there for lower order? If your topic is management, principles of management, what will be your question for lower order? The questions
Ma'am,
based
over
on simple
here,
recall and recognition kind of thing, remembering objective. Yes. Sorry, Faizunisa. Yes.
ma'am, we can say over here who was the father of the modern management.
Correct. You will get one word answer. So simple, the students, they have to recall and you will get the answer, right? So when you are asking for any formula, direct formula, again, they have to think, recall and give you the formula, area of rectangle, area of square. So you will get the answer. So these are these kind of questions, simple one word where only recall and recognition kind of things are going on. So that is what we are known as, these kind of questions are known as lower order questions. There is no higher thinking skills are involved in these kind of questions. Another category is read these questions, differentiate between metals and non-metals. What will you do if you see any social barrier around you? Construct an angle bisector of 60 degree. Now, these are not one word answer. Here, you are not going to recall, you are not going to recognize anything and give me the answer. You need a understanding of the concept. Then only you will be able to give me the difference between metals and non-metals. If you have not understood the concept clearly, you won't be able to give me the right answers. Isn't it so?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. You should be, in order to give me the answer, it means you should have the understanding of that concept. If the second question is, say, it is asking that what will you do if you see any social barrier around you? So first of all, you should be aware of what are social barriers, right? Then only you will be able to think in that direction and what you can do in that situation. So that is how you are applying your knowledge in the new situation, what you are going to do. Similarly, for the third question, if we are going with construct an angle bisector of 60 degree. So for a layman, if you are asking this question, he or she won't be able to give you the right answer all the time, until and unless that person is not having the knowledge and understanding of the topic angle bisector. It is something difficult for that person to give you the right answer. So that's why understanding is required. Certain skills are required to construct the angle bisector. We all know there are different steps how we can make the angle bisectors for the math students. So these kind of questions where understanding or applying a skill kind of objectives, they are playing their roles. These are known as higher order questions. So in your evaluation stage, you need to focus on lower order question and higher order questions both, because you have written in your objectives these kind of things. You have written the remembering objective, you have written the understanding, applying, and skill in some cases. So that's why we want to know whether our objectives have been fulfilled or not. That's why we are going to use higher order questions in our evaluation stage. Is that clear, the difference between lower order and higher order questions?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now you have written at the start of the lesson, I have asked you to write the objectives based on remembering, understanding, and applying. So give me one question related to your remembering objective. What kind of questions can be framed as per your objective that has been set by you at the initial stage of my session?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, I was looking for the name,
Ma'am,
but
in the
okay. Yes,
remembering state, we can say that the student list the levels of questions.
list the
Ma'am, the levels of question.
what questions?
Ma'am, the higher and the lower order questions. Ma'am, we are able to remember it now in the remembering. Sorry. Yes, ma'am, in the remembering one.
I am taking the example from your method.
Okay.
Initially, I
Ma'am,
asked you
Ma'am,
all.
can I say?
Yes.
ma'am, it can be define commerce.
Okay.
Or
What
what is
objective you
commerce?
had made?
Ma'am, student defines commerce and the
Commerce.
student recalls the meaning of commerce.
Okay, so your
This was the two
question will
objectives.
be the student
What is
recalls the meaning of commerce. Okay. So
and
your
define
question will
commerce.
be, so in the evaluation stage, your question will be,
Define commerce or what is the
what
meaning
do,
of
what
commerce?
do you mean by, yes, correct. Anyone from maths?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
economics.
Sangeeta, yes.
The student defines right angle triangle,
Hmm.
the properties of right angle triangle,
Okay.
or the student states the properties of acute angle triangle.
That is the objective. Along with the objective, let me know the question. What question you will ask? See, first and last stage, it is going to match up now. You need to match. Your objective was the pupil or the student uh, defines the right angle triangle. What you said, right angle triangle, na?
Yes, ma'am.
So what will be your question? You want to
Uh,
check this objective whether you have students have understood this or not. So what kind of question are you going to ask?
Can you define the right angle triangle?
As a student, I will say no.
No.
Then what will you do? What will you do? Never ever use the word can you. They will say no, or they will keep mum. Right? So all you be specific, as Pratna ma'am said earlier, right? Your question should be direct one. Directly ask the question. Why are you requesting the students? Can you? Right? So you should be very much clear. You should be very much sure that the students they are going to answer. See, यहाँ पे मैंने यहाँ can you नहीं लिखा. Can you differentiate? So everyone, all in the class will say no. So what will I do? I have to give the answer. No, this is the evaluation stage, and you all, I am expecting from you all to give me the right answers. So start directly differentiate between metals and non-metals. Okay, so define right angle triangle. Directly put the question through the question. So this is how lower order and higher order questions. So match up with your objectives. If in your objective, अगर मेरा ये question है higher order का, differentiate between metals and non-metals, what should be my objective? क्या हुआ होगा मेरा objective? The pupil or the student
Understands the properties of metals and non-metals.
specific objective. Specific objectives. Pick up the action verb.
Students are able to differentiate.
Yes, the student differentiates between metals and non-metals. The student compares, right? So that was my objective. That's why I'm asking my evaluatory question like differentiate between metals and non-metals. I am very much sure that after my explanation, my students will be able to give me the right answer. They will be able to give the points for the differentiation. Okay, so this is how you are going to use. So prepare the objectives which can be achieved in that 30 minutes of time. Although we can have n number of objectives, but because of this time constraint, you need to focus on some specific objectives, and those which can be achieved by the students in that stipulated period of time. So ask the questions belonging to your objectives. So lower order questions for remembering, and for the higher order questions, higher thinking skills are required. That's why the understanding, applying, and skill kind of objectives, they comes under higher order question. Other points that need to be considered, ये point अभी हमने किया है. Through this image, what point can be concluded? You can see
that our evaluation questions match the objective.
very good. It should achieve the objective stated in the beginning. So this point is very, very essential whenever you are evaluating, whenever you are in the stage of evaluation. This, what can you understand with this image, this GIF?
More and more people are able to answer.
So
they have understood the
point?
concept.
What point should be there? whenever as a teacher, if you are evaluating, so the questions should be क्या होना चाहिए? It should be asked to each and everyone, right? Put the question to the whole class. I cannot teach specifically only to Maria or Jasmine or my favorite students, right? I cannot be biased. If I want to evaluate, so the question should be for everyone, so that everyone will get the equal opportunity to give the answer. So put the question to the whole class, specific question. So equal opportunities should be given. You are not supposed to take the answer from one particular child again and again. So others might lose the interest, the teacher is biased, and all these kind of statements will be there. So always ask the questions to the whole class, address to the whole class, and pick up the answers from all the corners of the classroom, whether they are backbencher students or they are front bencher students or middle, or they are slow learners or gifted children. So depending upon their level, you can ask the questions to the students. Now with this, any idea what point is to be considered through this GIF?
Ma'am, the evaluating question should be according to the content we have taught.
According to the
content that we have taught them, it should not be out of the content.
Okay. See, when we are asking the question, whenever I am asking the question, I am taking a pause. I am giving some time to you all to think, and then you can give your answer. So this is what you all have to do. So whenever you are asking the questions, once your question, once you are done with your question, give some time to students to think. It should not be instantly. You just now you have finished the question. What is force Maria? So it means you're not at all giving the time to think. Even the students, they will get afraid, they will have this phobia कि अब क्या हो जाएगा अचानक से. So just take a pause, and then so that the students, they can start thinking in that direction. So always give some sufficient time to the students to think, and so that they can answer properly. They have to recall, they have to just go back to your session, and they have to give you the right answer. Similarly, when you are asking the questions, you have to stand at a particular position where everyone can hear you properly, where you are visible. If you are not seen by the students, they may lose their interest. You all must have remembered the movie Munna Bhai Wali, right? So in that example, in that incident, Sanjay Dutt was not paying attention to the doctor. Why?
Because he was not able to see.
He was not able to see the teacher, the teaching aid, that dead body. That's why he lost the interest. So it should not happen whenever you are teaching. It's not only for the evaluation, this point is for the entire lesson. So you should stand at a place, at a position from where students can easily see and hear whatever you are doing, whatever you are speaking, whatever you are writing. They should be able to observe you properly. So this point is very, very important. And when you are speaking, it should be the clear voice. Do not confuse the students. Do not use the ambiguous word. These all points Patna ma'am had already covered, how you have to ask the questions. Then if in case the question is, if the entire class is not able to understand the question, okay, in that case, you need to restructure your question. You need to break the questions. Maybe the students are not understanding in the way that you are asking. So you need to just restructure your question so that the students, they can understand the question and give you the appropriate answer. So that's why you can break your questions in two equal halves, or sometimes you can restructure your questions. So until and unless if the students, they are not able to understand the question, you won't get the right answers, and that's how your objective will not get fulfilled. Whether it is fulfilled or not, they will do the guesswork. They will start doing the guesswork. So sometimes the students, they are so much shy that they will not ask you the questions to repeat. So that's why always your question should be short, it should be concise, and if it is not at all understandable to the whole class or one particular child, always break the questions and make it in the understandable form. Do not take collective answers from the students, because this is the evaluation stage. See, in this GIF you can see that everyone is speaking together. If I'm asking one question, what is the unit of force, so some maybe generally they are giving you me the answer, and some maybe just doing the enactment. You all must have done this thing, I'm very much sure. When
Yes, ma'am.
yes, कि
Yes,
टीचर को
ma'am.
ऐसा लगना चाहिए कि भाई हमें तो आंसर आता था, बट समटाइम्स वी आर नॉट नोइंग द आंसर, वी आर जस्ट यूजिंग आवर doing our lip sync. So in order to avoid such kind of situations, always ask a question to a particular child by taking a pause so that he or she can think and give you the answer. You can redirect the question even in the evaluation stage. You can prompt even in the evaluation stage if this question is not at all understandable. And every time you're not going to take the collective answer. Avoid the asking of questions in yes or no, because this is the evaluation stage. So yes or no questions should not be asked. So the question should be belonging to your objectives, where you can relate it with the content. And whenever the students, they are giving you the answer, always acknowledge whether they are giving you the right answer, partially correct answer, or wrong answer. Until and unless you're not letting them know whether it is right or wrong, how they are going to improve. So it is your responsibility as a teacher during your evaluation stage, always acknowledge the answer. Yes, you are right. You can motivate the students, throw some more light on this thing. If you are asking any kind of example, so this example is suitable in another situation, so you have to give your inputs along with that. It's not like KBC is going on, you have asked one question and one answer and then next question. Sometimes one common mistake that the students, they most of the time they do during the initial days of their internship, my first question is this, my second question is this, my third question is this. So you are not hosting a quiz show. So directly it should come directly. Generally, it should look like that you are evaluating. No need to use such kind of statements. My first question is this. So you are always asking the question directly to your students. The answer you will get, acknowledge the answers, whether it is right, wrong, or partially correct, and give your input along with your answer, because these are some short answer kind of questions, understanding, application, and skill. So you can always put your own ideas in between, not again too much, because within 30 minutes you have to finish the different stages of lesson. So set induction is there, explanation is there, evaluation is there, home assignment you have to give. So you need to jot down each and everything. You need to manage the time properly. So that's why no, do not go into so much detail, but you have to give the right answer, so that no wrong concept should be there with the students. So always acknowledge the students. They will get motivated when you are acknowledging. So in brief, you can say, yes, please.
Ma'am, sorry for the interruption. Ma'am, I have a doubt in the previous slide. Ma'am, there you have written down avoid collective answers. For example, ma'am, if we have a question, list out the objectives. What are the features? What are the features is the question. Okay. So there may be students, number of students where they will list out one of features. So that becomes a collective answer.
Collective answer means chorus, everyone speaking together at a time, same time, right? That is collective answer, chorus answers. for one particular questions, you may have different answers. You can take those answers with different through different students, right? But not suppose one point is there, or for one point everyone is speaking at the same time. So that is to be avoided. Understood, Jasmine?
Yes, ma'am.
So as a summarization, you can say that uh, you can remember this apple, and whenever we are in the evaluation stage, this apple will play the role. So you can remember these points, where A stands for asking question. Evaluation means to ask the question. Next P is, whenever you are asking the questions, always take a pause in between. Do not be in such a hurry to get the answers or to complete all your questions. So use your voice modulation and always take a small pause in between. Next P is point out the students, not in the same manner. I was not able to get the proper GIF. In this GIF, see how she is calling. So you're not supposed to point out with your finger. Okay, you Jasmine, you, or you. So you tell this thing. So you are not going to scare your students. So you have to point out the students with their names. If you are not knowing their names, you can call out the roll numbers. But but always pointing is essential. Okay, so you avoid the use of can you tell me. So no one is going to tell you. If they are in a mood, then only they are going to tell you, otherwise they will say, they will ignore you. So that's why it is essential to point out the student, not with the finger but with the name or the roll number. Another L. Next L. L is always listen patiently and give your feedback to your students. So it's not like that you have a set of questions with you and you are not at all listening to the answer of the students and you are jumping to your next question. So I have to finish my lesson. So listen to the answer, what answers you are getting from your students, and give and put your inputs in that. So you need to be patient, listen patiently, and then give feedback to the respective child or the students. And the last E is emphasize the correct answer, encourage the child, and this is how you can complete your evaluation part. So that was simple about asking questions. Now there are different ways, as we have discussed. These are the various ways that you can use at your evaluation stage. You can ask the question directly. You can use various puzzles, games, crosswords, through online mode also and through offline mode also. All these are possible. You can make use of puppets as you were using in your explanation or in your set induction. Even for your evaluation, you can make use of the same puppet, and then puppet will, instead of you, that puppet can ask the questions. You can ask the students to come up and solve the sum for maths every time. You cannot ask the question, all the questions verbally. So the students are supposed to come, they are supposed to solve the answers. So one you can call one or two students to solve the question on the chalkboard, and rest others can do the same work on their notebooks. And when the child is solving the question on the chalkboard, you can take a round of the class in between to check the others work. So that is how you can supervise the class along with your evaluation stage. You can use in online mode, you can use ppts. You can put up various questions in different forms, charts, videos, role plays, everything, anything, any technique you can use to evaluate your students. So some of the examples I have taken up, like scramble and unscramble things. So this is the question for it's from the economics subject. It is the root cause of all the economic problems. We have given a hint and some alphabets are there. The students are supposed to write the correct answer. This is the question. What will be the answer? Eco students,
Is it scarcity?
Correct. It's the scarcity. Similarly, in economics, it is not a capital. So the answer will be money. Okay, so these kind of questions you can go ahead. You can go ahead with this. If it is the history one, you can ask one question with different answers, and then you can click on the right answers or the wrong answer. If his Baba was succeeded by this, it's the wrong answer. You need to go back. So you can make use of hyperlinks so that you can use these kind of things, or you have n number of online tools. We are taking up every Saturday online tools with you all so that you can use it effectively. If it is in case of maths, you can ask the questions to the student. You can give one image, but you can ask them to pick up one cuboid from their home itself when we are using online mode. So wherever they are sitting, they can just pick up one cuboid or cube of their choice, and they can measure their sides and you can get the answers. So these are the various ways how you can evaluate. If it is for the language, again filling the blanks things, these kind of questions you can ask. What will be the appropriate answer? Match the column. When you are in offline mode and you are using PPT over there, at that time you can use this match the column. So you can ask the students to come up and they can use your pointer option. So they will use the pointer option, and then like this it can be done. Okay, so when you are using this thing, sorry, so when you are using the online mode, at that time you can use the this annotation which is available on Zoom. So you can use these things and you can ask the questions, and then the students can give you the right answer. Similarly, these fill up kind of things. So there are different ways how you can do odd, circle the odd man out: red, indigo, olive, and yellow. Which one is the odd one?
Olive.
Olive. Why?
Rest are rainbow colors.
Correct. Vibgyor. So this is how you can just go ahead with that. Similarly, for language, you can just give a stanza, anything, and then they can give you the right answers. Not only for the language, even for the other methods. The way, see, you can have one example over here. I have just prepared one stanza, written one stanza, and fill-ups are there. So students, they have to pick up the right answer and then they have to just drag and drop. So online tools are available. If it is not available, you can do on behalf of students. Ask the question, take the answer, and then click on the mouse. Then you can show the right answers. Now comes the next part of the evaluation, that is the applicative question. So as you have written the applying objective also, so now it's our duty to ask the application of your content, whether the students, they will be able to link the present knowledge with the future or not. How will they apply their knowledge and understanding in new and unfamiliar situations? So in order to check these kind of situations, it's time for the applicative questions. So we need to ask one or two questions which are based on this. So let us see one by one what can be those applicative questions. Say, for example, from language. If a teacher has explained the topic noun and its types. So now for applicative question, whether the students they will be able to apply the knowledge and understanding of nouns in different situation, in unfamiliar situation or not. I can ask a question like that: identify the various types of nouns from the given passage. I can provide one passage to the students, and I will ask them, based on your understanding, based on your this knowledge and understanding of the topic noun and its various types. Now you have to find out, identify those nouns, and they are going to underline those, and they will give me the reasoning for that, why such and such word is belonging to a noun, and that to a specific noun, right? So this is how the students they are applying their knowledge and understanding of a particular concept in another situation. Okay, similarly, one more example, there is one topic in 5th grade, count your garden. So where the focus was on that we should give importance to the people, which are the people or the various situations in our day-to-day life. So that was the lesson all about. So at the end, the teacher may ask, how will you measure the worth of a journey? It means they have to focus on the journey part. They have to focus on the if I can ask you the same question, how will you measure the worth of a book? So you, every time whatever you are having with you, you should be able to acknowledge that, you should be able to give importance to the people, you should be able to give importance to the things that you are having with you. So that's what the chapter all about. So you can ask a question related to the moral of that chapter, moral of that lesson, moral of that poem, and how they can use that moral in their day-to-day life. So these kind of things can be done in language. Similarly, for maths, if I have explained something to my students related to the topic area, mensuration, class 10 topic, and after that, once it is done, they should be able to apply that knowledge. So I will provide them one situation. You are going to calculate for me the area of 2 crossroad of your park. So it means they are going to use their knowledge and understanding related to area of rectangle that they have studied in my topic, right? So unfamiliar situation will be provided to them so that they can use their this knowledge, this understanding of their concept in that situation also. They should be able to give me the right answer by using their knowledge and understanding. Similarly, for quadratic equation, if this can be the, if I have explained them, if I have taught them what are quadratic equation, how we can make the different kind of quadratic equations and how we can solve those. So again, I can provide them different questions, different sums, so that they can apply their knowledge. Suppose in this example, the statements are there, the statement is given to them. So with the help of this statement, they will be able to prepare one quadratic equation on the basis of this statement, and then on the basis of their understanding how we have to solve the quadratic equation, they will be able to solve this particular question also. So it's not like that only the exercise question they will be able to solve. Irrespective of the exercise question, if I will give them some other question also belonging to quadratic equation, they will be able to complete that part, because they have understood the concept of quadratic equation, how we have to prepare and how we have to solve the different steps. They are very much clear with all those steps of solving the quadratic equation, so they will not get any difficulty whatever the question is. Similarly, for the science, if the topic is separation of mixtures, this topic it has been taught to the science students. So the applicative question, what can be the applicative question? How will you segregate iron fillings from garbage. Why it is applicative question? They will use the knowledge and understanding of separation of mixture. They have understood there are different ways of separation of mixtures, right? So from day to day life, I have picked up one example for them, and I am asking them, how will you segregate iron fillings from the garbage that you are having? So they will again go back to the various subtopics that has been taught to them related to separation of mixtures, and then they will try, because they have understood the topic, that's why they will be able to use that understanding of this subtopic, and they will be able to give the right answer for this magnetic separation. Similarly, pollution, if I have taught them pollution, my questions can be, what measures will you take to prevent noise pollution of your locality? So this, again, they are applying the knowledge and understanding of noise pollution. What are their harmful effects? If you are aware of the concept of the effects of noise pollution, definitely you will be able to give me the answers how you can prevent the noise pollution of your locality. So you are applying your knowledge and understanding in the new situation. Similarly, from history, one of the topic is directive principles of state policy, and the history teacher can ask the question, what will you do to become responsible citizen of India? In order to give this answer, what is the requirement? What they should be able to know, or they should have the understanding of what kind of points?
Rights and responsibilities of citizens, maybe.
Correct. So if they have understood the topic, they will be applying all those principles, and that's how they are going to give the right answers. Nationalism in India, same. Economics, demand. This is the one of the example most common question from economics. And as a teacher, if you have explained this thing to your students, so you can ask this question, the nature of commodity influences its price elasticity in demand, and illustrate. So when you are illustrating, it means you are explaining this statement with the help of suitable examples. So you will pick up the examples from day-to-day routine life. So you can pick up only when you have understood the topic, else you will be taking up the wrong example. So if you have understood everything, then you can give the pick up the correct examples from day-to-day life, and you can justify this statement. So that's how students, they can make use of their present knowledge. They are trying to link with their present knowledge with the future. Similarly, from commerce management, if the principles of management they have studied, so the commerce teacher can ask, how will you use principles of management in a company? So why in the topic we have just learned the principles of management, the 14 principles given by Henry Fayol. How they are going to use those? So again, examples are required. So they are going to give support the statement with the help of suitable examples. Similarly, Consumer Protection Act, how will you use consumer rights in your day-to-day life? So if you are asking such kind of questions, it means that they have understood everything, and they are ready for applying to the new situation. So it's not like that if if a teacher has explained some things, it's for that particular time. So they should be able to apply that knowledge and understanding in another situation. So then only we will be assured that the student have understood everything, the all the concept, the entire concept. So that's why they are applying in different situation also. So let's see one video based on this. It's of our most of us have seen this video. and maybe it's your favorite video also. Let's see, and we'll talk about this. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. No.
Sorry,
No, ma'am, we
No,
can't see
ma'am.
the video.
just a minute. I have to go with new share. Now,
Yes, ma'am, yes.
okay.
Ma'am, it is not audible.
My favorite.
What? It's not audible?
No, it's not audible. Sound share करो.
Sound
मंद्रिता
share.
मिस एक तो चिड़िया
Sound share.
बेला गुलाब जूही चंपा चमेली.
मिस कंटिन्यू till we see the video.
She will sing along with this. Now, is that audible?
Yeah, yes, miss.
Yes, ma'am.
चंदा एक, तारे अनेक। तारों को अनेक भी कहते हैं। नहीं, देखो फिर से। सूरज एक, चंदा एक, एक करके तारे भये अनेक। ठीक से समझाओ ना दीदी। देखो एक गिलहरी, पीछे अनेक गिलहरियाँ। एक तितली, एक और तितली, एक करके हो गई अब अनेक तितलियाँ। समझ गया दीदी? एक उंगली अनेक उंगलियाँ। हाँ दीदी वो देखो अनेक चिड़िया। अनेक चिड़ियों की कहानी सुनोगे? हाँ। एक चिड़िया, एक करके अनेक चिड़िया। दाना चुगने आई चिड़िया। हमें भी सुनाओ ना। तो सुनो फिर से। एक चिड़िया, अनेक चिड़िया, दाना चुगने बैठ गई थी। हाय राम, पर वहाँ व्याध ने एक जाल बिछाया था। व्याध कौन दीदी? व्याध चिड़िया पकड़ने वाला। फिर क्या हुआ दीदी? व्याध ने उन्हें पकड़ लिया, मार डाला। हिम्मत से अगर जुट रहे तो, छोटे हो पर मिले रहे तो, बड़ा काम भी होवे चतुर चिड़िया सयानी चिड़िया मिलजुल कर जाल लेकर भागी चिड़िया दूर एक गांव के पास चिड़ियों के दोस्त चूहे रहते थे और उन्होंने चिड़ियों का जाल काट दिया। तो देखा फिर तुमने, अनेक फिर एक हो जाते हैं तो कैसा मजा आता है। दीदी मैं बताऊं? हो गए एक, बन गई ताकत, बन गई हिम्मत। दीदी अगर हम एक हो जाए तो बड़ा काम कर सकते हैं। हाँ हाँ क्यों नहीं, तो इस पेड़ की आम भी तोड़ सकते हैं। हाँ तोड़ सकते हैं पर जुगत लगानी होगी।
See, up till here she was explaining, and then she had evaluated with simple remembering kind of question, and now it's time for applicative question. Just a minute. So in this video, she was explaining also, she was revising the content, and she was asking the questions, remembering kind of questions initially she asked, and then the students, they applied their knowledge and understanding of the moral of the story, unity is strength, in new situation. The new situation is get all those fruits, right? So this is how you are also going to create situation, ask questions to your students so that they should also apply their knowledge and understanding in something new and unfamiliar situations. So that's how you can just make use of this evaluation part. And now last but not the least, the some links, although we will be covering up this in our online workshop which is going on. When we are using online mode, there are different apps. So I have just jotted down some of the apps. If you want to take the screenshot of these, you can take it out, else we are covering every Saturday also. So you can make use of these apps wherein you can prepare the videos, and then after showing some video you can ask the questions related to that. sometimes this flip grid, this is one of the LMS, very good LMS learning management system, wherein you can ask the question and even the answers, students, they can record their answers and they can upload, they can write. Google Slides, you all are familiar with. Within Google Slide, you can just through Chrome extension, you can download peer deck. Whiteboard file, this has been covered. Google Form, Microsoft Form. Tesmos, I have given you the demo for that. Padlet, you will be covering. Quizzes, I have given the demo. ThinkLink, H5P, Canva, Kahoot again. For gaming and all, you can use Kahoot, but no, not everything is freely available in Kahoot. Most of the things are paid. Good one. Powtoon, where you can prepare the video. Admodo is another good LMS. AutoDraw, GeoGebra. Math students, it will be helpful for you all. GeoGebra and Virtual Manipulative, I have given the demo for that. And Jamboard, Insert Learning, Ed Puzzles. In our management class, I have shared the link. Ed Puzzle and Educandy. These two apps are very, very good. I would just recommend these two apps to you all. Especially in this online mode, these apps will be helpful to you all to evaluate your students. Also, you can use these apps to give the home assignment to your students. So this is how you can make use of these kind of apps. So this is all about evaluation. So that's all from my side. Any other questions? Any questions, girls? If there are no questions, so because we have done evaluation, so let me evaluate you all then. Without taking much more of time, as ma'am has to give the feedback and even one is there. So let me just ask you one or two questions. So first question is, give me any 2 points that you can remember, that you can remember while doing the evaluation. Quickly, just give quickly. Although I have asked you to just take a pause, but because of this time constraint, I'm not giving you sufficient time to think. Any 2
Avoid
points?
collecting.
Can I?
Yes. 2 points that needs to be remembered.
Hiding the content before evaluating and
Okay.
always ask question one at a time.
Okay. Differentiate between lower order and higher order question.
Ma'am, lower order question is related to the knowledge, which is based on remembering memory. And higher order is based on applying and understanding skills.
Skills objectives.
Okay. So, which evaluation technique will you use for the topic force for science students? I will not ask every method students. How will you use?
By asking students like in the day-to-day life, like where not this term forces up use, like by asking examples from their life, we can evaluate.
Situation based question you can ask.
Yes. Like if you're lifting something, pushing, so all that is force. No, so like by giving a
Fine. Okay. Someone is saying, and then I'll hand over to ma'am then.
Over, beta?
Yes, ma'am. I think.
There are two kinds of learning. One is direct learning and the other is indirect learning. So the direct learning was whatever Smriti madam has taught you about evaluative questions. There was a lot of indirect learning also from Smriti madam. Can anybody tell me what was it? can anybody think of it? I mean, it was so charming that I have never commented on anything before, but then I have found this so very much useful in her lecture that I'm tempted to ask you all this question. What was the indirect learning? See, at times what happens is, you learn from the teacher, her gestures, the way of speaking and all that. What is the indirect learning which is very useful for a teacher from Smriti Madam's lecture today?
Ma'am, she's very calm and composed and
Very good,
always
okay.
smiling.
She is very tech
Always
savvy.
smiling. Okay, tech savvy.
Ma'am,
Okay,
soft
from that
spoken.
tech savvy, can you tell me soft spoken? Okay, what else? Did you see her PowerPoint presentation? How was it? How on one same slide, how things were written down came first, and then she explained that these type of questions are higher order questions, and then that higher order question on the top came into was seen, was visible, and then you were able to say, well, these are higher order questions. Marvelous use of PowerPoint presentation. That is exactly how it has to be used. First you explain and then things come up on the board. Normally what we take it as, if we take it as our convenience, we project it first and then we read out or something. Maybe even I'm doing the same thing, but then this was the perfect way of doing the PowerPoint presentation, the use of PowerPoint presentation. Always smiling, soft spoken. There is a kind of a softness in the eyes also. I mean, I simply loved it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Smriti,
Thank you, ma'am.
Smriti, I'm proud of you. I'm
Thank you,
proud
ma'am.
of you, really. I won't say much, otherwise we feel offended. Uh, but then this is what I have seen. You have to have that softness in your eyes. You have to have that softness in your voice. You just can't keep on screaming and all of the children. Well, Smriti Madam also must have screamed at times, but then wherever it is necessary, you do that. Not always. You have to show your stern face also. There was not once that there was any vagueness in what she said or what she spoke about and all. There was nothing which was not necessary which was spoken. Everything was so very much to do with whatever she had to. This is what I call it as I mean business. When I say I mean businesses, I have come to teach you this, I'll teach you this. Nothing beyond this, nothing less than this. So that kind of attitude that Smriti has shown, I'm bowled over. I'm bowled over by you. Even if I were to do this particular skill, but I wouldn't have been able to do as much justice as you have done.
Thank you, ma'am.